hello there. I think that upon the absolute banger of an ending, the last chapter was that Yorkie could probably use a day off, and I could also use a day off, because I had this idea that I would go through the entire game and I wouldn't pick up any of the special weapons. I would only get by with just using the pistol itself, and then whatever I could find in the levels and whatever I could buy from Wesley while in the levels. And that would be how I got through the game. I forgot though that the creepy crappy crawly shadow ladies, they aren't fun to play. They are like so not fun to play. And the game, yeah, sure, it's a little more challenging when you are not using any of the fun special equipment, but the operative word is there that it's that you're not using the fun equipment, and combat just becomes an absolute slog. So what we're gonna do today on York's day off is get him like probably equipped to take on the last half of the game, because I also want to use this playthrough to get ready for completing the game on hard mode, which I thought could be fun at some point. And it will also be an opportunity for us to catch up and talk to some citizens that we won't get to meet in the main story. So yeah, let's not go to Harry's house. Let's skip work and let's not worry about what it is Georgie has to say and do. Screw that stuff, we're taking a day off. Let's get into it.
You go with George and find Thomas.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Great, thanks.
I was an idiot for thinking he might be a good pick. I really need to work on my taste in men.
So what happens was that I kind of completely naturally found myself going back to the police station, and then I noticed that next to the police station was Olivia and Nick's house, and I was like, you know what, Olivia? I don't believe that your husband is guilty, but I still put him in prison, so I should probably go talk to you. So I did. And then after I had talked to her and I had like ensured her that it didn't matter if he was guilty or not, it mattered what she thought, she believed, and that no one would blame her for believing that her husband was innocent until at least proven guilty, right? And after I talked to her, I went over and talked to Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Happy that you've got your man?
No. I'm not your man. I'm just a suspect.
And then Nick gave me a letter. And then I cried.
What's gonna happen to me then? Never mind. I'm more worried about Olivia. How's she doing?
It caught me completely fucking off guard.
Could you hand her a letter? Please?
Nick, he in this moment realizes that he has been a total asshole, and while he says that he hasn't cheated, he understands and accepts that he did commit a form of emotional cheating, and especially because he stopped being true and honest with Olivia about going where he was going with Diane, and he realizes that he's been spending way too much time with her, and he realizes that it wasn't just completely about the art, and he scribbles all those thoughts and feelings down in a letter that he then asks us in a very real down on his luck moment to go deliver to Olivia, which we do, and she's incredibly touched by it. And then she writes back 3 lines she's like, I forgive you. And then Nick, it's sort of like, then does that emotional whiplash thing where he gets kind of like pretend mad that she only wrote him back 3 lines, even though he poured his heart out on what I imagine are several pages. Yeah, and that's, oh my god. Oh, it caught me so off guard, that fucking stupid quest. Oh, because Nick, he's a fucking asshole, and I hate his dumbass guts, because Olivia's so fucking nice and he treats her like shit. And then he realizes that he treats her like shit, and then he does a complete emotional 180 and completely accepts his blame and completely accepts the situation that he has put himself in. He's of course, you know, he doesn't accept that he murdered all these people because he knows that he didn't, but he accepts that he's suspected of it to a certain degree, right? He understands that there's a process and that he has fucked around, and he has unfortunately become a part of this process by fucking around, and he accepts that he's got to ride this out for a bit.
I believe in you. I'll wait for you. I'm sorry. I don't agree with the last one, though. I'm the one who has to apologize.
Yeah, so we give Nick the letter, and then he rewards us with a little reward, but for obvious reasons he can't give us the reward because it's at the diner, and he can't exactly go to the diner right now. So we have to go get it ourselves, but the thing is that we have to wait for the diner to close, and that's quite a few hours away from now, so we gotta kill some time. And how I killed time was that after I had talked to Nick, went and had lunch with Emily. And here's the thing, Thomas is not at work today, and that means that Emily has to cook. Normally, going to the police station around lunchtime will actually give you a boost to your rest and and completely fill your hunger bar, because you will be exposed to Thomas's fantastic cooking, and it will be a great moment for the team to bond over their work and shit. But since Thomas is not here, Emily is cooking, and Emily, she can't cook. And she manages to serve us it looks like ash, like she burnt the food so much that it just became ash. And Yorkie does a feeble attempt at trying to hide his thoughts about Emily's cooking. And the funny thing about Emily's cooking is that it's completely fun and fair to make fun of it, because she is so sure that it's good, and it's really not. I think in the future episode we're gonna take the time to go probably spend some time with Emily, because she has a whole side quest chain about learning how to cook, and that could be fun to follow along. Then afterwards I saw George on the map, so I drove up and I talked to him, because I had also found a dumbbell earlier, and I remember there was, if I do the dumbbell quest, I can unlock the quest to get the fast travel radio, but apparently George has to be at his office, so I kind of like made the drive for nothing. Except that it wasn't maybe completely for nothing, because there are these races that will give you trading cards, and these trading cards, they also play a part in a quest that will pop up later, where if you gather a lot of trading cards, you can get rewards from Wesley. And I think they're just monetary rewards, but we're actually gonna need those monetary rewards for another side quest, so it all kind of goes complete full circle. I had previously, while I was on my way to the police station, participated in the race around the school, and I had completed that and gotten the trading card for doing so. So when I was at the hospital anyways, I of course did the race around the hospital and got the card there. And then I went inside and I talked to Fiona, and I found out that she had a quest as well. And that is a fun little trivia quest where you answer pretty hardcore, at least college level chemistry, biology questions about the human body, like what a DNA cell is, and some weird shit. I kind of knew some of it. I knew those are like a few I knew offhand from these like smart person crime shows that try to be smart by listing off random trivia, like what part of the cell is the nucleus, and those moments from those shows have definitely like been seared into my brain, so I could remember a couple of them. But there was also some where I was just like, what the fuck? Some of them were like, what is shock? And I was like, that could, and the options were all things that shock could be, and I kind of forgot that this was like strictly in a medical context, so I answered it wrong both times. And it's not like and if you answer it wrong you have to repeat it, but when you repeat it it's not the same question. She cycles between 20 questions, so you have to kind of remember those 20 questions. You sort of like have to teach yourself those 20 questions, the answers to these 20 questions, which is really hard because some of them have really fucking long medical names.
That can't be. Why? How? I thought those questions were pretty tough.
But I eventually got it after like 10 tries, I want to say. Yeah, that also gave me a trading card. Then I kind of stumbled my way to Lysander's junkyard because I suddenly found myself without a car. So I did one of his quests which boosts my car's speed, I think, which is something that I have never ever seen the purpose of, because I can't tell that the car is boosted, and I'm not sure that it works for all the cars that you buy. I think it legitimately only boosts the car that you are currently driving in the game, and I tend to kind of like lose my cars a lot and just buy new ones, and also just buy new ones because I kind of want to buy all the cars because I think they are fun. The cars in the game that you can buy, one of them is York's car, which is you need to complete a quest to unlock, which we'll do later, but all the other cars in the game are the cars of the townspeople. So you can ride Diane's car, you can ride Carol's like absolute white trash wagon with like flames on the side, and you can ride Lily's minivan car and all that, and that's really fun. And this time I bought Thomas's little beetle, which is kind of funny because that same beetle also makes an appearance as the protagonist vehicle in the 1998 open world crime drama thriller that's heavily based on Twin Peaks, Missouri Falls.
Katbonket til audiokable. Randelf viden ting notisse. Jure missing out on ting rand aput Missouri Falls. An histups aput til 3 uger hun kysts indad Premonition. Spoiler. Helt oesten til ligge tim. Hedgivet til Infinite Ammo SMG2.
And it's just bad game design. I don't like it. But I like that it can be challenging. Or yeah, it can be challenging. It wasn't challenging in this case because since I had done Delivery Man Q, Quint had given me his wrench, and because I had his wrench, I could one-hit kill all the monsters. And I did this very cool thing where they tried to shoot me with shotguns, and then I very much didn't let them shoot me with shotguns. Take a look at that. I'm pretty decent at video games. Like, I know that's not a thing you can say, but I mean, that's pretty cool, right? So it's about time is running out a bit. It's getting a bit late, so we're just gonna do like a few more things, and then we are gonna head over to the diner and get the bag. One of the things we're gonna do is drive Sigourney home. Sigourney will appear at various points in the map, and then you have to drive her home, and you have to drive her home 5 times in 5 different chapters in order to complete her quest chain. And I can't quite remember what it is that it does, and it doesn't really matter. I just drove her home.
Don't get so excited, will you?
And then I drove over to the gas station to bribe Jack. Because in order for us to get our car, we need to bribe Jack until we have bribed him 1,000 $1,000. And after we have bribed him $1,000, we can apparently get the location, I guess, to where our car has crashed, and then we can get Lysander to restore it, and it's the best car in the game. And I really want to drive that car, and I would really want to have it, so that's gonna be cool. We still have a few hours left until the diner closes and we can enter the back door to get the bag, but I'm kind of like running out of things to do, and this video is gonna be a bit long already. So I think we should just head over to the diner and then smoke some cigarettes until it's 2100 and then go inside. And here I realized that we didn't need to do all of this, because I thought that when I got the quest from Nick to get the bag, that I would just go over to the diner because the diner is closed because Olivia is sad for obvious reasons. So I thought, well, because he told me to go when the diner was closed because that would be the only time that I would be permitted to go in and get the bag. So I thought that I could do that because the diner was closed. But then when I went over to the door, I just couldn't, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll wait to 2100. Turns out that despite the diner on the inside only having one back door, it actually has two back doors on the outside, which isn't possible. But apparently when I went to the diner to go check, I went in through the wrong back door. And when I went back, I discovered the other back door. And that other back door let me go in and let me get the bag. And I'm thinking that if I had just picked the right back door to begin with, then I wouldn't have needed to kill like 10 hours of in-game time. But that's generally a reoccurring problem in the game. The outside geometry and the inside geometry of a place, they rarely correspond, like, at all. I had a bit where I tried to get to the left side of the west side of the hospital, but the problem was that every time I entered the hospital I got turned 90 degrees, and at some point I figured that I couldn't go west inside the hospital because what is west on the outside of the hospital is north on the inside of the hospital, and that just completely fucked me. The layout of the hospital on the inside and the layout on the outside, it doesn't fit, and there are a couple of more buildings that I noticed where that's just not the case. And I realized in general that a lot of the time that I have gotten lost in this game, I haven't gotten lost because I'm a dumb idiot. I've gotten lost because the fucking geometry from the outside and the inside don't correspond, and I'm like a practical designer human. I design things for a living. I have spatial intelligence, so when I look at an outside of a building, I know what that building is supposed to look like from the inside. I know how I'm supposed to navigate to the point I need to go. But I of course can't fucking do that if the inside doesn't match the outside, and I don't mean like match, I mean that it doesn't exist within the same fucking reality. So that fucked me for a bit. Shit. But nonetheless, it's actually been a really fun experience to go spend a day with the townsfolk and just have a day off and just go do dumb stuff and go pick up the trading cards and go search for the Agent Honor and go do all these side quests that don't lead anywhere. It's been great. And I don't know. I guess we gotta go see Harry now, right? Don't we? Yeah. So we'll go do that next time. Bye bye.